Universe, and welcome all those who are new to the cane culture. We're always happy to have you. One of the most common requests that we get is on the topic of abduction, and this is a concern right across the board, from parents to women, all right? And guys, those of you, right, we hang around with our canes. I'm going to show you the role of the cane in this type of targeting. I do want to preface by saying that there is a series of things that we can be doing to be aware of and prevent, and I'm not covering those here. I do want to give you a bonus, so listen up. This is for moms, dads, and really for anyone that may find themselves in this situation. We teach 7 layers of anti-abduction. The first, and most people don't realize that there's 2 segments to this. There's when you're unaware and away from your field of vision, somebody comes on, they get hands-on with you, and they begin the escorting process of bringing you to a secondary location, which may be a vehicle, it may be a shack, it may be, in other words, there's what happens when you're out here in that moment, in that struggle, and then what happens once you're in that secondary location, which we want to try and avoid. We give you 3 layers to the outside. I'm going to share one with you as a bonus towards the end, but what I'm going to cover here as it pertains specifically with the cane is really when the rubber hits the road, which is somebody has now gotten hands-on with you. And so let's look at the possibilities here. This is typically something that's going to happen away from your field of vision. Yes, can it happen when we're talking and somebody's asking for directions and all of a sudden he grabs and there he goes? Ladies in particular, a bigger, stronger, faster individual putting their hands on you, or if you're using this because you needed to ambulate as well, right? And here you go. This is, I got to tell you, this is going into power shot mode. Doesn't matter even if it's away from my field of vision and it comes over here. This is a pivot, and we've spoken about this using power shots and going in conjunction, using them in conjunction with verbals to attract attention, right? And so that's not where we're going. This is 2 hands on 1. What we're talking about is when you have something like, for instance, some type of bear hug that comes in, and now there is a dragging process, or if he is much bigger than I am, there's a lifting, and it happens so fast. If you've never seen this, you can go ahead and there's videos out there that show how fast this can happen. Remember, they have planned for it, and initially you're being forced to respond to it. So we'll go step by step. The first concept here is that regardless if I'm carrying this tool, if this happens, I want to build into go ahead and locking in here, because what I want to make sure is that I know the only positive thing about any type of grab, and particularly something like this, is that I know where the hands are. I don't want this to escalate and have him pull out a knife or a weapon and do it that way. So if I do get into this situation, tilt the camera down so we can see. What I'd like to do is I am using the cane as my tripod here. I'm locking, and then I'll turn to the side, and what I'm going to do is tilt that camera down. I'm going to create a foot anchor here. That's it. It's a very simple anchor. And the first thing that I want you to experience, and again, safety always first in terms of if you're lifting and you have a bad back or an injury, then you're going to have to do this walk through. Those of you, if I'm very light and he can just go ahead and he can lift me off my feet, he's a strong guy, go ahead and test it. Notice that I lock the arms above the elbow. And when I do this, I just foot anchor down here, and he goes ahead and attempts that again. Just that one first layer is throwing in a wrench in the escorting plan, because it's very difficult. And now if he were assuming that I'm a lot lighter and he starts trying to drag, he can't lift, I can start using my verbals, I can start being loud, I can start calling attention to myself. As far as what happens with the hands, well, there's different types of bear hugs here. He has interlocked the hands. I am going to go ahead, once I do this, I'm going to step off to the side, right? And that causes him to go with me. At this point, he might let go, right? If he lets go because he toppled, that is my opportunity to turn and go into power shot mode. Power shot mode, by the way, if you're new to this, this is an impact tool. You're striking bone, right? So you're hitting elbows, you're hitting shins, you're hitting clavicles. I'm going to identify the bottom hand, that pinky side, and I'm going to turn it up. Now, the cane is an impact tool. Anytime you put that on bony areas, particularly here, it's going to give you some leverage. Watch how I do that here. It's going to, ooh, he taps right away. The tap means let go, let go. And what I'm going to do here is turn. Now, you can bring that up a little bit. And I'm creating an arm, I'm locking here, and I'm creating an arm bar that allows me to move out and go ahead and move into, again, that power shot range and get out of here. All the while, back off, get away, let go, let go, let go, right? This is when the hands are interlocked. He may also go to where they're interlaced. Nothing changes here. I have this lock. I'm stepping. I'm going to use then my hand and bring the cane in my palm, and I'm going to find, all I'm looking, notice what happens. Watch his posture. So I locked, I came out, I did my foot anchor. When I do this with the tool, notice that it breaks everything else, because what I'm looking to do is lock in here, and he's already tapping, right? And so now I'm looking to move away and go. This is a Raven, obviously. This is metal on bone. The other way that this can happen is where you find yourself with your arms in. I'm going to go ahead and still, I do my anchor, step out, I'm here, he's trying to move me, escort me. I'm going to use, I need you to tilt down here, I'm going to use that cane as that tripod. And I'm going to step behind him to that triangulation point. My hip now acts as that fulcrum as I start tilting up, moving to his center with that cane so that I can go ahead and incapacitate. Right? If I take out those limbs, it's going to be more difficult to chase me. Now, I'm giving you some detail. It gets really broken up on CaneSelfDefenseUniversity.com, which is where all the training happens. I'm referencing specifically the COBRA Cane 10-week self-defense academy. You're looking at week number 4. You have it split up into classes, and we go into great detail on that online platform. That's CaneSelfDefenseUniversity.com. And obviously we have a training that's coming up that I'll talk about and remind you again. Now, as promised, bonus for you, mom, dad, teens, everybody really. I told you that we teach 7 layers. You can look at video of, for instance, they show where a 13-year-old, she's a physical girl and individual exhibiting all types of pre-attack indicators, everything that he's doing that seems to be the opposite of what his intention is. He turns around, grabs this 13-year-old and begins to pull. Mom starts pulling on the other side, and you have a tug of war going on. That could easily be avoided just with the first layer alone. And to demo that, let me use the caner's daughter. This is Marissa. Hey, that's a cool shirt. Is that from the Immersion?
Yes.
That's a classic. All right. I dig it. So just the first layer alone, which has nothing to do now with the tool. I'm telling you that the majority of this, before you even get hands-on, has nothing to do with that cane. And so Marissa knows from her training that if somebody were to put their hands, now imagine a 13-year-old, imagine an adult, right? Immediately, we just demonstrated a foot anchor. I want to show you how we go into this, but we go and we go to put our hands on it and pulling, and immediately she goes into anchoring that leg, and she does so in a way where her head goes behind. Now, I want you to understand the shift here, right? The psychology and the whole paradigm. In other words, I'm thinking I'm abducting. Now I have this situation, and the clock is ticking. And now I'm going to have to get her off of me because she's latched on like a pit bull or a tick. And I have to get my foot off of here. She knows she's going to have to take some shots. That's why her head is behind me. So even to this, she knows she might lose some hair in doing so in exchange for her life. And all the while, she's screaming things that sound like,
"You're not my dad!"
"You're not my dad." Now think about that for a second. You can hear a lot of things. People, you can help and people will go ahead and film there, but you're not my dad. That'll get heads turning. The other thing you could be doing back there is what? Biting. She could be biting. She's going to do whatever she needs to do this. She knows she's going to take a couple of hits, but now that changes the whole paradigm. Wow, here come the cops. I gotta go. Hear that? Yep, I gotta go because what I'm doing is really serious. I'm looking at. So now, as a would-be abductor, what I'm doing is I want to disengage and get in this vehicle, which is probably stolen. I want to get out of here. Right? So this is what starts happening. And folks, I don't know about you, but I'm not real effective with a 9-year-old driving away with a 9-year-old wrapped around me. This just looks weird. And so you're changing, it throws a wrench in, you're changing the entire paradigm here. Okay, I need circulation back in my leg. Woo! Right on. Got it. So, you know, it's a topic that warrants attention. And yeah, this is how you do it. It goes through phases that have nothing to do with the cane, but there you have at least reference points. And guys, you can't learn it all. This is just so you can see the potential of this, but to really learn that, you need the instruction. Get it online, step by step, couple it. We're doing this, the COBRA Cane Self Defense immersion. We're doing it September 24th, 25th, 26th. We're not just going to give you that, we're going to show you how to do it. Oh, and by the way, on Wednesday night, I'm throwing in the COBRA Active Shooter Response Plan Training. That's the Alpha program on how to deal, again, with another event that cannot be prevented, and that unfortunately it's happening with greater frequency, it seems. And so I'll show you the unique role of the cane there as well. We love talking to you. We're at 800-289-8188. I hope this one has been productive. Go ahead, feel free to comment. Thanks as always for watching. Keep caning and stay safe.